Hey everybody, this is Tony, Tainted Lord A7, and this is going to be a thread response to George G's Room of Rock, where we pick out 10 albums for the first 10 bands you got into. So, yeah, this is just based on a vague memory because I don't actually remember the first 10 bands I got into, but I think I'm pretty sure these bands that I chose are the first 10 bands that I picked up albums from, so yeah, this is all I can remember. So here goes. The first one will have to be Arch Enemy's Anthems of Rebellion, of a pretty solid melodic death metal album from this band, and the first album that I got into. And while this album was a bit divisive, I still enjoy it for what it is. So yeah, Arch Enemy's Anthems of Rebellion. My second pick will have to be Lamb of God's Ashes of the Wake. One of the band's best albums, in my opinion, is groovy, thrashy, aggressive, and pretty damn heavy. So, yeah, that's my second pick Lamb of God's Ashes of the Wake. My third pick would have to be Overkill's Killbox 13. A pretty underrated and overlooked album, but nonetheless, this is really groovy, thrashy, aggressive, and heavy as balls. Just the kind of thing they expect from a legendary band like Overkill. But yeah, Overkill's Killbox 13, a very, very, very underrated, but absolutely scorching album. Good stuff. So yeah, Overkill's Killbox 13. My fourth pick is another metalcore band that really got me through high school. And just like Lamb of God, this one is a absolute banger, and that's Killswitch Engage, The End of Heartache. Just a very solid, melodic, riffy, heavy metalcore album. And I think this is one of the band's better albums in my opinion. And this, I believe, was one that really broke them into the mainstream spotlight. But still, if you want some very sing along but solid, heavy, aggressive metalcore, Killswitch Engage, The End of Heartache is definitely definitely an album and a band I recommend. So yeah, that's my fourth pick. Killswitch Engage, The End of Heartache. Next up is another legendary band that's been around for forever, and this is the first album I actually picked up from this band, and I got it from like a used music store a long, long time ago, and that's Motorhead's Overkill. Classic Motorhead. If you want some heavy metal, hard rock, rock and roll, yeah, Overkill by Motorhead is just a classic album and essential to any Motorhead fan out there. So, yeah, Overkill by Motorhead would be my fifth pick. Okay, my sixth pick is from a German industrial band that everybody should know, and that's Rammstein's Motor. Now, this is just a fantastic industrial metal album from this German band, and a band that I've always known about since I was a child. Like from start to finish, this is just a really solid album, and yeah, definitely one of the band's best albums in my opinion. So that's my sixth pick, Rammstein's Motor. Excellent album. Okay, my seventh pick is another melodic death metal band from Sweden, and that's No, not Kill Dark Tranquility. I meant to say Dark Tranquility's Damage Done. Yeah, Dark Tranquility's Damage Done is definitely a staple in melodic death metal from the early 2000s. This is just from start to finish amazing. It can be aggressive, riffy, melodic, and it's just an absolute beast of an album. And definitely one of the band's best albums in their discography. So, yeah, Dark Tranquility's Damage Done. Excellent melodic death metal album. Okay, my eighth pick is a US industrial metal band that everybody should know. And this is actually a comeback album after they split up back in like 2001, but they reformed back in 2004 and put out this comeback album, and that's Fear Factory's Archetype. Just an excellent comeback album from this legendary US industrial metal band. And yeah, if you want some really aggressive riffs, amazing vocals, and just absolutely sheer heaviness, highly recommend check out Fear Factory's Archetype. Really great comeback album and a really great industrial metal album. Really good stuff. Okay, my ninth pick is from a band that's usually looked down upon by most death metal fans, but I still have a soft spot for this band, and this is actually the first album I actually pick up from this band, and that's 6 Feet Under's 13. Yeah, I know this band does get its fair share of haters, but I'm not gonna lie, I do like this band. And while I don't like everything they've done, I think 13 is a pretty good album. And the first album I actually picked up from this band. It's groovy, death metal, and yeah, just some straightforward groovy death metal. Nothing over the top or technical, just some straight up death metal that's groovy, I guess. So yeah, 6 Feet Under's 13. And my last album that I chose for this thread response is from a German heavy metal band I don't hear a lot of people talk about, but they are really awesome. And the first album that I picked up from this band, and that's Primal Feel Delivering the Black. Just an awesome, powerful, in your face, triumphant heavy metal, power metal album with some amazing vocals, great riffs, great solos, and it's just like a powerful heavy metal, power metal anthem. Really good stuff. And the first album that I actually picked up from this band. So Primal Fear's Delivering the Black is just an amazing album. Definitely a band and album that I recommend if you want some powerful German heavy metal, power metal. So yeah, Primal Fears, Delivering the Black. And that's it. That's my response to George G's Room of Rock of the first 10 albums that I picked up from the first 10 bands that I got into.